Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video will be seen and shared. Celine Driver once again bringing you another unboxing and review of a watch that is not mine. No, this is not my watch. Like the previous Detroit Mint video that I made, this watch was loaned in to me by one of my good buddies and fellow YouTubers who are members of the Random Rob Discord server group. Might have been Random Rob himself. I honestly don't remember. But this is another Detroit Mint micro-brand chronograph watch to review. And I thought I would bring this to you like I did the previous video, which was the bullhead 70s style bullhead chronograph. Now this one is a bit more of a traditional style watch. Still evokes the 60s and 70s racing chronographs of old, but with updated movements, updated materials, etc., etc. But this is more of a traditional looking watch. Now, of course, like the previous watch kit, you get this very nice tool, strap tool. One end is a forked end for getting into the spring bars. The other end is more of a round end for poking, mostly used for adjusting micro adjusters on clasps. They also included a engineer style bracelet, which I did not mount on the watch. It did not come mounted, and I really didn't want to mess with it because this isn't not my watch. Although, if this were my watch, I would most likely put it on that bracelet because I find that bracelet extremely attractive. But here is the watch in question. This is the traditional racing chronograph. They call it the traditional biaxial reverse panda. They have multiple colorways and styles of these watches on their website. I will leave a link to Detroit Mint's website in the description below so that you can go check that out. But instead of it being a bullhead like the previous video I did where the crown was here and the pushers were here, we have them in the more traditional right side with the crown at the 3, start stop pusher at the 2, the reset pusher at the 4. I will get the chronograph going so that you can see that working. You have 2 subdials like on the other chronograph, only they're reversed. The minute counter for the chronograph is at 3 o'clock instead of here. The constant seconds is at the 9 o'clock instead of here. And you have a date window at the 6 o'clock. Not color matched, but that's all right. Now, of course, the red large second hand there is the chronograph second hand. You can see it start and stop like that. And you can see as I start and stop it, it does not jump, which the style of movement that this uses prevents that from happening. You have an outboard tachometer scale. Like pretty much every other chronograph in the known universe uses a tachometer scale outboard for calculating time, speed, distance kind of thing, which you would do in a racing scenario. You can see the chronograph minute hand moved right there, so it is tracking. You have a vintage 60s, 70s style case, kind of a UFO style rounded case, very thick. Exhibition case back, just like on the other watch. Lugless design, so the lug to lug is very short. I will show you that on my 7 1/4 inch wrist by giving you a good wrist shot. Get in there, thank you. And you can see with the lugless design, plenty of room across my wrist. This thing would This thing would look proper on wrist sizes down to maybe about 6¼ inch. I don't know what that is in centimeters. I don't do metric scale. You can convert that on your own. That's what Google's for. It is a thick watch, just like the other one, so it is not going to be fitting under a dress shirt, although you're not going to wear this as a dress watch anyway. Will likely fit under a sweater or a sweatshirt or a loose-fitting long sleeve, or definitely under a jacket. And like the other watch, I love the off-axis distortion that the crystal provides. Very nice. You can see the AR coating there, kind of that blue coloring there, that anti-reflective coating that's on there. Movement does hand wind. It does hack. You can see that it does hack when you pull the crown all the way out. It not only hacks the watch, it also hacks the stopwatch chronograph. Push it all in, it works. It is not a screw down crown, however. It will give you 100 meters water resistance, but still, being non-screw down pushers, non-screw down crown, and I would be a little iffy about taking it underwater for very long. You can see when we stop the chronograph and reset it, it's a flyback. This one resets very nicely. The other one was off just a smidge, but this one resets very nicely. Nice brushed finish on the case. It was stainless steel tang buckle. It is signed, of course. Leather strap, genuine leather strap. It is signed. And a minimally decorated movement. You have some blue screws there. I'm not sure. I doubt that they are truly blued, fire blued. They've probably been coated. Little Côte de Genève on the rotor with the Detroit Mint logo. Base plates and everything are really not heavily or really even decorated at all. A little Côte de Genève on that bridge there and on that bridge there, but not a lot of decoration. Not the kind of watch where you're going to have a highly decorated movement. Very nice watch, though. I have my sheet of facts here so that we can go over that, learn a little bit more about the watch and its vital statistics. This is the Detroit Mint Mechanical Traditional Biaxial Racing Chronograph Reverse Panda. That's a mouthful and a half, ain't it? But that's what they call it. You have a vintage 60s, 70s style case, as we mentioned. It is a 40 millimeter case, 46 millimeter on the lug to lug, 16 millimeter thick with a 20 millimeter lug width right there. Stainless steel, as we mentioned, 100 meter water resistance. We are using sapphire crystals front and rear with a screw down case back. It is a Value 7750 clone movement. It is not a true Value 7750. Their website calls this a 7750 clone. They also make it a point to say that each watch is regulated prior to shipping. And it's a big point, and I thought it was worth pointing out that they do regulate these watches at the factory before it's shipped to you. Again, I will leave a link to Detroit Mint's website in the description so you can check that out. It's a fantastic package. It really is. It's well designed. It's beautifully made. It's beautifully finished. The satin finishing on the case is top notch. It's a good kit. It's a nice canvas travel case. The tool, like I said in the other video, I have similar tools to this that I bought off Amazon. I keep one in each car. And if I'm in the car and I need to, all of a sudden the watch gets too tight on the bracelet and it has a micro adjuster that uses a traditional spring bar, I have one of these in the car that I can I can adjust on the fly. This bracelet, I think, is beautiful. I really do. I really dig it. And like I said, if this were my watch, I would be putting that bracelet on the watch immediately. Not my watch. The leather strap is very nice. It's got good feel to it. I like the not only the contrast stitching around the perimeter, but that little extra racing stripe of red is very nice. It picks up the dial, the watch hands of the two subdials and of the chronograph. So it's the details. The details are very nice. Of course, piston style pushers, which given the Detroit theme and the racing chronograph theme of this watch is, obviously you have to have piston style pushers. I mean, what you can't do anything else. But I think this watch is definitely worth a look by you. If you are in the market for a chronograph, you'd like something that's American company, micro brand, relatively inexpensive, and has a definite flair of style to it. I think both this one and the bullhead that I reviewed in the previous video, they got style to burn. And I think these are definitely worth your look. So go ahead and do that. I do recommend this watch. It's really a nice piece. With that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up. I hope you found it to be entertaining, informative, and useful. If you did, I'd appreciate clicking that thumbs up button. It just takes a second, and it really helps out the channel with respect to making the channel more visible to the YouTube search algorithm. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to troll me or you're going to leave links to bad places on the internet, I'm simply going to delete the comment and I'm going to block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you found the channel. Where you been? But please feel free to watch as many videos as you'd like. All I ask in return is that you click that subscribe button. Help grow the channel. Let's get this channel growing a little bit more, a little bit faster. That would be great. Don't forget to click the bell icon too, so that when I upload new material to the channel, you will be alerted. And when I do live streams, which I do every Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, or at other times during the week when I can, you will be alerted to the beginning of those streams. Meanwhile, as I always say at the end of my videos, it is a crazy world out there, and it's getting crazier by the minute. Trust me, I watch the news just like you. So, I ask that you please be safe, be careful, be well, and I'll see you soon.